Noah Zacher presenting on the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse for Mr. Allen's history class. The Battle of Appomattox Courthouse took place on April 9th, 1865 in Appomattox County, Virginia. This battle was fought between the Confederate Army, who was led by General Robert E. Lee. Lee was a well-known American Army officer and was offered a position by Abraham Lincoln, the president at the time, to be in the Union Army. Lee declined this offer because he felt as though he couldn't fight his own people in Virginia. The leader of the Union was Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant. Grant soon went on to be elected 18th President of the United States. After the Civil War, the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse started on the morning of April 9th, when 9,000 Confederate troops traveled west of Appomattox to attack the Union Army. The Union forces were closing in on the Confederate forces. General Lee was determined to reach the Confederate supply line at Lynchburg, Virginia, before the Union reached to them. The goal of General Ulysses S. Grant was to put an end to the war and defeat the Confederate Army. That morning, the Confederates launched an attack on the Union Army, led by General Brian Grimes. General Philip Sheridan's Union cavalry were outnumbered and had no choice but to retreat. This victory lasted short after the Union infantry were able to surround General Lee's army. Lee saw defeat coming near and ordered his troops to pull back to Appomattox River. The battle continued, and Lee saw no other choice but to surrender his army, which would lead to the Union victory. Lee came to an agreement to meet at the Appomattox Courthouse to surrender his army. After the war, General Lee went home on parole to live a normal life. There were around 63,000 Union troops and around 26,000 Confederate troops. At the end of the battle, there were 158 Union casualties and 500 Confederate on the Confederate side. The Battle of Appomattox Courthouse was the final major battle of the Civil War that put an end to most of the violence. This battle was one of the most important battles of the Civil War because it greatly impacted our nation and ended one of the most deadliest wars. After the Battle of Appomattox, the two leaders of both sides, the Union Army and the Confederates, Ulysses S. Grant and General Robert E. Lee, met at Wilmer McLean's house to settle an agreement that would end the war and greatly impact the rest of American history. Robert E. Lee agreed to surrender his Northern Virginia Army and also asked to keep the horses and some equipment. The map provided shows Lee's men being trapped in the middle of Appomattox, which led to Unions surrounding them and eventually making them surrender.